Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. So, my, female 32, father passed away 2 years ago. He left me and my half-sister. We both have different moms, same dad, inheritance that was equally split between me and her. My sister spent her inheritance money in just a few months. She's a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids and always had financial hardship. I haven't touched my inheritance money. I live in an apartment that I inherited from my biological mom in 2016. My sister sat me down to talk about her and her husband's current situation. She said her husband can no longer pay rent and they needed a place to stay. I asked for time to think since me and her husband don't get along. She said it was okay. The next day she showed up with her tone completely changed. She said her husband thinks I'm being manipulative by taking time to think about letting them come, and that my apartment is an inheritance and she's my sister. Therefore, I should share it with her and the kids. She said her husband also says that if I wasn't going to let my sister share the apartment, then I should give her my half of my dad's inheritance, saying it's not fair since my sister doesn't work, has 2 kids, and will soon be homeless, while I have a paying job, no kids, and a whole apartment to myself. I was speechless. I opened the argument by saying that the apartment was from mom, and mom was never related to my half-sister, so she has no right to her inheritance. Also, she already had her half of dad's inheritance, so she can't touch mine just because her husband thinks she can. She started crying, telling me to think about my nephews. Again, parroted her husband's words, saying I have 2 options. I either let them move in or give them support money for my inheritance. I said she and the kids can move in, but her husband? No, he's banned from my place. She pitched a fit saying she can't believe I wanted to keep the kids' father away from them, and I'm the reason they'll be homeless for refusing. But I flipped out and said that I'm not. But it's her deadbeat of a husband that she keeps repeating his nasty words instead of holding him accountable for the crappy situation they're in. I told her I won't continue to speak to her since her husband speaks for her. She left after the blow-up. Days later, I discussed this with my stepmom, and she said she couldn't believe I cut contact with my sister only for asking for help, and that I needed to see her soon and arrange for one of the 2 options to be considered, reminding me that innocent kids are involved, even if my brother-in-law can be rude to me. But I'm standing my ground on letting him into my place after what he said. Am I the a-hole? My sister is younger than me. She's 26, and her kids are 2 and 5. I love my sister. I have a good relationship with her and the kids and stepmom for years. I don't want this to ruin it now. Edit. Because I see this question being asked. My stepmom is now living with her family, and brother-in-law has been no contact with them, so it's unlikely they let them move in with them. Edit 2. Look, I love my sister and my nephews so much. I treat my nephews as my own kids, and I did help in the past because I know my sister and my nephews are struggling. However, I'm quite upset because of how she talked to me. But I know that it was her husband who was talking to me that day, not her, since she kept repeating his words. They said there were only 2 options. They missed the not your problem option. Literally, their financial decisions are their decisions, not OP's repercussions. Stealing OP's money and taking over her apartment are not options on the table. Yelling at OP should automatically equal a door slamming in their faces. OP can't let any of them in now. If OP lets her sister and the kids stay, as soon as OP goes out, they'll let brother-in-law in, and he'll refuse to leave. OP won't be able to get him out. OP's sister is as much of a leech as her husband. The kids are innocent, but have crap parents. OP needs to block all of them. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Not the a-hole. Do not let them move in and take advantage of you, and do not give up your inheritance. She blew the money. She can get a job. Not the a-hole. Your sister made her choices. Not working, having kids. Her worst choice is that she's letting her husband speak for her. You have what they want, so you are in the right to give the options to them. 1. Stay, but no brother-in-law. Or 2. Don't come. If the brother-in-law is half a decent person, he'll send his family to you while he sorts himself out. Not the a-hole. Your stepmom is on the wrong side of this disagreement. Funny how so many people want to be generous with someone else's money. Give your sister's number to your stepmom so she can offer them her money and a place to stay. Our daughter is now 27. She's always been closer to me than her dad, but they have a good relationship. A few days ago, she and her fiancé were at my house. While talking, her dad tried calling her several times, and she declined the calls. Her fiancé then got a call from him. He answered, told him to F off, and hung up. This was very unlike them, so I asked what was wrong. She told me they went to visit him for a couple of days, and while there, he went over his will and insurance payout, if applicable, with her so she knew what to expect. Apparently, the bulk of his money and insurance, and the house he built is being passed to his wife, while our daughter would get things like his parents' house, needs major repairs, vehicles, and other assets. She felt he was putting his wife over her and they left, is how she explained it to me. Yesterday, my ex called me to ask to help him with our daughter. I asked him if what she said was true, and it was. His reasoning was that his wife left her family and job behind to move with him to their state to help him take care of his mother in a town she's having a hard time fitting in. He's had some injuries and illnesses during their marriage, and his wife has been supportive of him and took care of him when he needed it, so he wants to make sure she'll be taken care of too. I can kind of see his point, but I also see our daughters. Where I might have messed up was telling him I wouldn't help him with our daughter. While his reasoning makes some sense, his decisions have consequences. When I got off the phone, my husband shook his head. I asked him why he was shaking his head at me, and he told me I needed to mother my daughter because right now she's acting spoiled and throwing away her otherwise good relationship with her father over money. I don't think I was wrong to decline, but he and I are almost always on the same page, so now I'm wondering. OP's daughter is acting like an entitled brat. She's getting a whole house and cars, and that's not enough? OP doesn't seem to have an issue with her ex. Actually, she has stated she has a good relationship with her daughter, so why wouldn't OP speak with her to help keep their relationship positive? His will sounds solid to me. I just wonder if daughter's doing the same level of care as stepmom. And now let's hear the community's opinion. You're the a-hole, and so is your kid. Children are often entitled to an inheritance. They should be grateful they're getting anything. I don't see how it's unreasonable to make sure your current partner is taken care of in the event of unfortunate circumstances. Your child is going to ruin their relationship over this, and you're going to let them. The father should remove her from everything and see how she likes that. Sorry, but usually, where there is not a will, the bulk of assets goes to the wife, and the rest divided by the living children. I mean, would you have had the same problem if he left you the house? That said, you're the a-hole. It's his money. Indeed, your daughter acted like a spoiled brat. Sorry, I only got one house and vehicles and other assets, but I wanted 2 houses. Like, really? You made the mistake when you made the first phone call to your ex. Or you should have told your daughter this is something between the two of them, and you want it out. Or be grateful for X and Y, cause what are you gonna leave her? Careful, cause if it's not 2 houses, she may not answer your phone call. Not the a-hole. This is not about whether your daughter or husband is right, but whether you need to explain your ex-husband's reasoning. Personally, I'm of the opinion your daughter is being a brat. Of course he's going to leave his house to the woman who currently lives in it upon his death, and no one is owed any inheritance. But I don't think you're the a-hole for not inserting yourself into an argument happening between daughter and her dad. You are not in a relationship with her father anymore, and your daughter is 27, not a teenager. If she asked your opinion, you wouldn't be the a-hole to share it, but no good is going to come from inserting yourself into a disagreement between your adult daughter and your ex-husband. I honestly feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. My entire family is furious with me over this, and I don't even know what to do. I sprained my ankle 10 days ago, only 5 days before my daughter's wedding. It was really bad. Like, so bad that just walking to the bathroom, even with crutches, is intensely painful and difficult. I thought that maybe, possibly, I would be better by my daughter's wedding. But on the day before, I realized there was just no way I would be able to go. I would be a burden on absolutely everyone, and the chances of me falling down and making a disaster of myself were too high. I thought people would understand. After all, my daughter saw me in the hospital and was super worried. Instead, basically everyone is super pissed at me. My ex-wife was basically screaming at me over the phone, telling me to man up and get on my feet and go. My sister was telling me that she sprained her ankle and was fine soon after. I remember that. It wasn't nearly as bad of a sprain. My daughter apparently was incredibly sad, but said it was okay because she knew I was in pain, but then later on was apparently upset with me. My son just said he was very disappointed that I couldn't just handle the pain and go. I think I got like 15 calls and a bunch of texts saying I need to go. Oddly enough, the only person who understood was my son-in-law, who texted me saying that he understood why I didn't go and he's sorry everyone was being mean to me. He got somebody to record a bunch of videos of the wedding to send to me, which was sweet. I can barely even walk on it, like at all. Even with crutches, it's incredibly unstable and really painful. With the crutches, I still have to lift the leg, which causes the ankle to go into extreme pain because it's holding my foot in the air. I don't even know what I can possibly do to tell them how horrible this is for me. They all already know. They saw me in the hospital, and it had only been 5 days since then. It's not like I could have gotten a wheelchair on such short notice. And even besides that, the wedding was on a beach with stairs leading to it. I understand being upset I couldn't go, but it feels like everyone is specifically blaming me for this, as if I have any control over this. They all think I should have just sucked up the pain and gone. From what I can recall, neither my wife nor my son have ever had any kind of mobility injury like this. It's not the type of thing you can just suck up. It's literally an impossibility for me to do most things. I'm almost positive I'm not the a-hole here. But seriously, am I the a-hole? Well, OP's daughter only gets married once, hopefully. OP should rent a wheelchair. I understand it was the beach, but surely for the dad of the bride, they could have come up with some solution. OP was going to be in pain regardless of where he was. Might as well be in pain at the wedding. You're the a-hole. You know chairs exist. Oddly enough, the only person who understood was my son-in-law. Yeah, you mean the kid who's marrying your daughter didn't want to make permanent waves and go against his father-in-law on the day of the wedding? Edit. People are saying wheelchair a lot, which is a great idea, but I just meant a literal chair. He has to sit once for the wedding and again for the reception, so he has to move barely 3 times all night. You're the a-hole. Dude, there's gotta be a way. You can find wheelchairs lots of places, and surely people are willing to help carry the father of the bride. This is a super important day for your daughter, and your failing to show up puts your future relationship at serious risk. You're the a-hole. I just had a major foot surgery, non-weight-bearing for a month, just started walking again, am a single parent, and still found a way to go to the pool, go to a 4th of July party, and still otherwise live life. I bought a knee walker on Facebook Marketplace for $40 and crutches at Goodwill for $3. If I can make things work, so can you. What a baby. Me, female 26, and my husband, male 25, got married a year ago. I'm the kind of person that really likes celebrating special occasions that are important to me. Before my husband and I got married, he promised to take us somewhere nice on our first wedding anniversary. And since my wedding was an absolute disaster, thanks to my in-laws, mother-in-law to be specific, I saw this as a chance to have another special day to celebrate my relationship with my husband. But things have been rough the past few months. I'm 5 weeks pregnant, and our whole plan changed. My husband suggested we have a nice dinner at a restaurant that his mom picked for us. And recommended. Okay, now she's just trying to get involved this year too. Anyways, he showed me the pictures and the type of food they serve, and asked me to pay. It's an expensive restaurant. I suggested we pick another, but he insisted. I agreed, and once we got there, I found that the menu wasn't there, which was weird because I was ready to order. About 15 minutes of my husband stalling, his parents walked up to our table dressed nicely and sat with us. I looked at my husband for an explanation, but he avoided me, to tell his mom that the food they wanted was ordered ahead. His mom immediately made backhanded comments about my hair, dress, weight, and didn't stop. I was literally mad. She and her son started drinking, while my father-in-law started talking to me about politics. The final straw was when she canceled the cake I wanted and replaced it with the one her husband liked. I got up, told my husband to hand me the keys or I was going to walk. He tried to calm the situation. That's when his awful mom started talking about me acting inappropriately. She told her son to just hand me the keys because she didn't want me to embarrass her. I left. An hour later, my husband came home, started berating me for overreacting and ruining dinner. I yelled at him what the F was he thinking inviting his parents. He said they paid for it, so he had to invite them. Started arguing, saying that he saw nothing wrong with what he did. He didn't even tell me, and argued about how I was being awful to his family. I went to my mom's after he insulted me, and I've been feeling bad ever since. His mom texted me, but I ignored her. Not the a-hole. But why did you get married to him in the first place? Also, unless he commits to serious couples counseling and working on diminishing himself from his mom, you might not be married much longer. Not the a-hole. So my in-laws were similar. My husband did some of what your husband did, and we're still married 10 years and 2 kids later, so I hope you listen to my advice. 1. Marriage counseling ASAP. 2. Find a trusted family member on your husband's side if possible, to tell him his parents are batshit crazy. 3. Individual therapy for you, for everything that is going on, and to also decide how to proceed with your pregnancy. You're only 5 weeks along, and you have options. I really hope it gets better. I mean, this is crazy. His behavior is not okay. Beyond not okay. You're his wife, yet he's treating his mother more like a spouse. If she destroyed your wedding, and he witnessed how that made you feel, why is he allowing her to infiltrate the situation yet again? He should be standing up for you, and at the absolute very least, he should be willing to have a romantic 1-year anniversary meal with you. Not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole. This situation is just covered in red flags. I would truly reevaluate being married to someone who not only allows you to be mistreated, but openly invites it, and then gets mad at you for his lack of consideration. Especially with a child coming into the world, you can count on his mother to try to parent your kid and demean your parenting. And I guarantee your husband won't have the balls to stand up to her then either.